guys, good morning and welcome to our week 6 workshop giveaway. I hope that you've had an amazing and blessed weekend, that you're enjoying the warmer temperatures. I know here in Arizona it's getting pretty hot. We're in the honeys. Already. We're in the honeys, 3 digits already. Yes. We're in the honeys, 3 digits. And here with me in the studio, I've got Miss G, of course, and Miss Shell.
Hi.
Speaking of honeys, we're absolutely super excited that you're able to join us for our 6th week of free workshops. I hope that you find them useful. I hope that you are inspired by them. But we did receive news earlier today of one of our dear friends passing away yesterday, Miss Sharon Oakes. So we just want to say a few words about Miss Sharon. She was always one of our biggest cheerleaders, and every single live that we had, she was always there front and centered, shared every single post, live, project we ever made, and you will forever be in our hearts. So Miss Sharon, I know that you're dancing in the heavens with our Maker. May God give you peace and heal you, and we will miss you greatly. So we'll definitely share a little bit more on our Facebook channel tomorrow, because of course she was more in tune with all of our Facebook community. But it's certainly a huge loss for the RG community for sure. So guys, today I decided I would do a giveaway with one of our original sets back in the crazy old days, from when we were RG Studio 360, and this one's called Mayo Feliz. Being that Cinco de Mayo is just around the corner, like literally, and of course we're all in quarantine, so everybody's gonna have to Cinco de Mayo at home. What made this so special was the fact that it was Cinco de Mayo on Taco Tuesday.
What?
So I decided I would jump in on the opportunity to create a mini book for the special occasion. Even if you are just celebrating at home on a regular Taco Tuesday, capture those memories and put them in this beautiful mini book that we're about to create. Now, let's go ahead and switch over to our top view. I decided to give you guys 2 files, the 2 most popular files from the set. So week 6 giveaway, 2 out of 14. The Mayo Feliz digital download has a total of 14 images. This is the original digifile for this particular, can you guys see all the, for this particular set. But our most popular images in the set were the Feliz Cinco de Mayo, and of course our super Mexi cactus playing the guitar. So adorable. So obviously we're creating a mini book, and I am going to use all the pieces from my digital file, but if you decide to not create a mini book using Cinco de Mayo theme, you can certainly create any theme mini book you want. Hopefully you're just capturing the idea, the technique, the folds, and then of course you turn it into whatever inspiration you might have as you continue to bring paper to life in your way. So again, Cinco de Mayo digifile is available on sale this week because we're using it. So it's available for $9.99 if I'm not mistaken. If you don't want the full file, we are giving you away the 2 digi files that I think you'll quite enjoy. And because this was one of our original sets, it actually comes with a mini as well. We used to do the mini files back in the day. So you'll get the large version and you'll get the mini version depending on what it is that you want to create. So it's all going to be available in your zipped file for your projects. Now, do you want to see the book?
Yes.
Yes,
So cute.
let's check it out. All right. So I've created this darling, so cute book, Feliz Cinco de Mayo. I absolutely adore it. You're going to need your own printed paper, printed stock of choice, only for the cover of the book. And check him out. He's just so fun.
So cute.
Feliz Cinco de Mayo.
Cute little book.
And again, you can add the date to it, which I will do. But this belly band is a little different because it slides from up and down instead of side to side. But then when you open the mini book, we have this super cool opportunity to capture our various different moments. So I did add Taco Tuesday on this Tuesday, because assuming if I did kind of like a day of the week, it almost looks like a calendar. But it's all gonna be about this coming Taco Tuesday day. So again, I added several embellishments to my mini book, and now I'm ready to come in and grab those special photos with the taco eating, with the margaritas, and just be able to capture this very first and hopefully only quarantine Cinco de Mayo.
For sure. We do have Gretchen from Puerto Rico.
Hi, Gretchen.
Says that, yeah, it's like sunny en verano, but you can't even go to the beach because of
I know,
quarantine.
it's so crazy, but
Nothing.
it's just a crazy, crazy, crazy time in everybody's lives. But you know, I think like for me, especially paper crafting has kept me going, has kept me together. It's just kind of one of those joys that is just very, very special to me. It's a de-stressor. All right, guys. So for this particular project, I am gonna use 2 sheets of rich honey. And of course, you know our rich colors are on promotion. This is the last week they're gonna be on promotion. All of the sugars are now on sale, 30% off. So this is the last week that they will be on sale, FYI. I'm also gonna use some rich cactus, cause hello, and some rich cherry. So these are the colors of cardstocks that I'm going to be using, and of course we're going to cut it all out on the sheet. Let me zoom out a little bit here so that you can see more of my table. That might help. And then of course I brought some coordinating paper that I think would be great. This I cut 6 by 10. Actually, let me make sure. 6 by 11. Sorry, 6 by 11. So I need 2 6 by 11 pieces of printed stock, and then I have 2 3.5 by 9 pieces of chipboard. Okay, so we're gonna need the chipboard to cover the front and back cover, and then I also have a strip of 2 inches of cardstock for that belly band with a pre-cut circle and a circle that's going to go on top of it. So that's all for my belly band, which will of course leave to the very end. I also brought in some just like gift tissue. I love the way it looks on this book, especially because of course, you know, it has that very much that piñata vibe. Piñata? Piñata.
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 I'm saying it weird. Piñata.
So how's everybody doing, guys? Who do we have on here?
Let's see, we have Linda Gorman. We have
Hi, Linda.
Adam.
Adam!
We have Linda Hicks, Christine Roy, Cindy Becker.
Hey,
Sandra
guys.
Santa Cruz.
Hi, Sandra.
Patricia.
What's
And
up?
we have Mari that says her husband and herself met 17 years ago in Cinco de Mayo.
Wow, what a cool celebration.
That's awesome. Cheers to that.
It's a party at every anniversary. Wow.
Yeah.
2 for 1.
Well, hopefully this book will help inspire you to capture that amazing anniversary. And I love the Cinco de Mayo set just because, you know, sometimes you just need a little, you need a reason to scrapbook something. So I'm like, what's the reason for my celebration this time? What can I scrapbook now? All right, so what I did was I adhered my chipboard to my printed stock. And I'm going to come in here and just cut a little corner. Now, I'm not cutting all the way to the tip. I'm cutting just slightly. Just kind of like, almost like skimming that corner. If you cut too deep down, chances are you might get you might have a leftover piece there that you don't want showing. So hopefully that makes sense what I'm saying. Now I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab my score tool and I'm just gonna go around, press against that chipboard. Just is gonna make it easier for me to create that fold. Well, before I do that, I just want to come in and press the two sides in. Now I want to go ahead and adhere them down. I am so crazy. I don't like to use liquid glue when I'm using printed paper. And I know many of you would say, well, that's not the reason why you're so crazy, but that's one of the reasons I'm pointing out that makes me crazy. But
why is that? Because the majority will use liquid glue.
Well, I've never understood. I'm not a big liquid glue user unless it's to adhere an embellishment, or I don't like it when my paper bubbles because of the moisture in the liquid glue. So I like it to just be super flat.
Flat.
I can't speak today. I've had quite the morning, to be honest, guys. I was really bummed about Miss Sharon's news, and I think more bummed than I wasn't aware of the health condition she was in. Would have loved to give her a call and just connect with her.
Right.
But anyway.
We have Miss Christina Diet with us here.
Hi, Christina.
And Sandra says, I'm running downstairs to grab a cereal box. I have no chipboards. For tissue, I will be using purple.
Yeah, it won't matter because those Mexicans, they use all the wonkiest colors in the world. Just kidding.
The color of the rainbow.
The color of the rainbow. I just love the idea of this book, and I know most of my community might actually have this set. It was one of our very first. And we actually did a planner spread with it, which is why it got released. And anyway, this is kind of along the same lines of that vibe. Who's excited about the book, though? I know I've been doing a lot of mini books lately, especially for these workshops. You know why, guys? Because I feel like I do so many cards all week long, right? Like I've always done cards, mainly because most of my community are card makers. But this YouTube platform gives me the opportunity to take a little bit longer. Not a quick let's do a quick 1 hour show. And so I'm just putting in a little bit more work. And hopefully giving you a little bit extra value for the time spent. All right, so we've got our covers, front and back. And you see how on this one, I probably went way too close to that corner. And I have more of a gap than I want. Can we see that?
Yeah, right there. Mm-hmm.
So anyway, it's kind of annoying. But you can also use your corners, if you really don't like it, come back and adhere that down, just so you don't see the raw chipboard. If you're that if it's driving you crazy, like it's driving me crazy.
I was gonna say, I'm sure it's driving you crazy.
But now the problem is I have to do all the corners. Mm-hmm.
Sandra and Cindy says they love the mini books. So much fun.
Yeah, see, I love mini books. I just stopped doing them because, I don't know.
Just because.
My audience kind of was more of a card maker audience.
And Margie says, I'm so excited. I love these books. They're so much fun to do.
Yeah, they are quite a bit of fun to make. I know Shell was like, I want it.
I want it. I want all of them.
She wants
Oh,
everything.
I know I can get that too.
Well, we'll now have two, so you can have one, and then we'll use the other one to put our photos in it.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's when we should have our disco party in the kitchen.
Yeah. Our Cinco Disco.
Yeah.
Okay, this one's kind of
That's it.
bugging
We're
me
going
too.
all out on Tuesday. Cinco de Mayo.
Not only are we having a Taco Tuesday, but we're going all out. We're gonna
going
get
all out.
shredded cheese.
Shredded cheese.
All right. So we've got all of our corners covered. It really won't matter, guys, because most of it is going to be hidden by my additional layer of cardstock. So what I'm going to do now is we're going to move that out of the way. And we're going to bring in our foundation for this project, and that is going to be using our Rich Honey. And I actually brought in a larger scoreboard this time because I need the full length of the board. I guess I don't need it. You can certainly use it with the smaller if that's what you prefer. But in this case, I'm going to use the full length because I do happen to have one. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to score this at 3 inches. At 6 inches. And at 9 inches. Okay, so let's go ahead and fold those score lines like an accordion.
Sandra, she says, can you ship your carne asada in our orders? We can all have a Zoom party.
Zoom party.
It was so good. Let me tell you, no, there was none left.
None
I
left.
can't speak today. I'm gonna. Well,
You haven't had like
you know why? It's because I was like,
You were doing that
yeah.
dumb song. So now you just dumbed yourself down.
I done this.
Wow.
Wow. She's so mean to me. All right, so we're gonna fold them one side and then the other side, and then we definitely want that valley, that mountain, and then that half of that little piece of cardstock, it's 2 inches, that 2-inch piece. We want it pointing up, okay? So we're gonna set that apart. Now what we want to do is we want to remove 2 inches from this additional piece of Rich Honey cardstock. We don't need it. And we're going to score again at 3 and 6. Okay. Let's go ahead and fold those scores. So what happens is we're going to adhere these two guys together, and now we have our full book. So let's go ahead and start that process. Oops. The first thing that I want to do is I want to go ahead and round the corners of the backing here. Did I not bring that? What? The chomper? Could have sworn I brought that.
I don't see it. Let me go check.
Okay, thank you. We want to round these 2 corners because I think it looks so much cleaner in the back if we in fact round those corners.
I thought you brought it.
I thought I brought it too. I was quite certain.
Here you go.
Adam said, who's going to make me one?
All right, so we rounded those corners. Thank you for grabbing that for me. And I'm going to add a couple of strips of score tape.
Margie says, your carne asada looks so good yesterday. I'll even send the postage. Send it.
It actually is really good. I'm not going to brag, but I'm pretty good at making that. Oh my gosh, we made some frijoles charros too. They were so good.
We have those still left.
Mm-hmm. Shell cooked the beans in her with a lot of with her pressure.
Instapot.
She's quite pressury.
Just put pressure on them, and they're like, okay.
Yeah, she's
pressure the beans into submission.
She's a little violent with the beans. Once she cooked them, then I just added all the accoutrements. I just like saying that word.
You too like saying that word. What's your favorite word?
All right, see how in the back I like how it just looks a lot cleaner and smoother if you round the corners of that layer. And if you wanted to go psycho killer, you can definitely add more pages to the back. I'm not, because it's just a mini event. It's not like a mega event. But check it out. I love that so much. All right, so here we have our layers. Now what we want to do is we want to grab our paper trimmer once more. And we have 3 by 8.5 panels, right? So we have a 4.5 sheet by 3 inches. So let's go ahead and cut our cardstock accordingly. So we are going to go 8 inches. Because of course our biggest layer is 8.5. And we're gonna go to 2.5. This is for the inside layer. We definitely want a lot of that gold, that rich honey to be showing up. So we need 3 rich cherries and 3 rich cactus. So we have a total of 6 panels altogether. So we're gonna go ahead and do the same thing here. We're gonna go 8 by 2.5. Oh snap diggity, I forgot my powdered sugar paper. Would you be so kind to bring me a few sheets?
Yes, I will go get
Thank you. You're welcome on completing your steps for the day because I forgot everything.
Oh my god.
Okay, Shell's seeing cross-eyed already because she's been coloring and cutting out all the images.
This chili has this like little, it's like a little curl.
She's complaining about this chili curl.
It's like a little cul-de-sac. And I got stuck in the middle of it. I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to get out.
All right, so we have 3 panels of red, 3 panels of green that are 8 by 2.5 inches. And that just gives us the perfect layer because it gives us a nice, rich honey border around it. And now we want to get the powdered sugar layers that are going to go on top of that. And so we need a total of 6 of those, okay? Thank you. But these we don't want a whole inch border, so we're gonna go to 7 3/4 by 2 1/4. And again, we're just cutting all of our panels, and we need a total of 6 of these panels. Seven 3/4 by 2 1/4. Mixing one more panel. And that ought to do it. All right, so we have all our beautiful panels. Now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to add a little bit of design element. Now, you could play with this in a gazillion different ways. As a matter of fact, I'm going to play with it a little differently today. I'm going to have Miss G do one more run to the border.
What do you need?
I was thinking that if we use either that confetti die, that might be cool.
So you want that one?
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah. Either that one or the star. Which one's more Mexican? Probably the confetti. Let's do confetti. I'm gonna do confetti, which is different on how I did my original, but that happens all the time. Oh, maybe some
cute.
daubers too would be cool. We're just creating on the spot again. Wow, and I just cut all these guys while you guys were out there.
Sure you did.
They look amazing.
Yeah.
Oops, I missed my mouth. I'm just like all off today.
Sandra said, I tried your recipe once and everyone loved it. You should repost the recipe. The secret was the tahini.
That is definitely the biggest secret. There's 2 secret ingredients in my carne asada, which are not so secret, but people would not think of putting them in their carne asada mix. One, of course, is the tahini. The other one is the Worcestershire sauce.
Worcestershire sauce?
Combined with the tahini, create an amazing flavor to
marriage.
your flank steak.
A flavor marriage.
Yeah, it's like insane. And I do add a little bit of carne asada seasoning to it, but that really isn't the trick. What's the secret to the whole mix is the combination. Thank you so much. The combination of both. So I'm going to be using this die as a stencil. The combination of the tahini with
Worcestershire sauce.
Worcestershire sauce. Bless you.
Yeah, exactly.
Those little one things?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Christine said, I got hooked on tahini thanks to RG as well. Now it is a must-have in my spices.
It's like it goes on everything. Absolutely everything. All right, guys, I'm going to use the confetti die for this because I just think it's perfect. And I love it.
Margie says, were you drinking last night? Because you can't speak.
No, is that why? No.
No, it's because you haven't had real food.
I haven't eaten at
I'm
all.
starving right now.
I am starving too. It's time to eat.
We woke up and then we're like, oh my gosh. And then, of course, I was putting together this workshop and then I got distracted by the news. And yeah. Remember I told you guys that to be putting up these workshops has been quite a challenge just because we're just adding a whole class to our week. Normally people teach a class once a month or once every 2 months. Well, now we're teaching it.
We're like on a roll here.
We're like teaching it all the time now. So, all right. Which is fine. I love it. I mean, if it's working for you guys, then I love
everybody
it.
has the time to hang out and
Yeah.
focus more. Yeah.
All right.
That's cute.
So we just cut that little confetti die out. And we're going to use it a little differently. First and foremost, I'm going to bring in some Jell-O. Jell-O. Did you bring me more of these little?
I did.
Sweet.
Because I know we're going to need more.
All right, so I'm just going to add some Jell-O confetti on there. Just kind of cool. I'm going to do all my Jell-Os first, and then I'm going to probably add a different color here. after the fact.
So you're using as a stencil.
Just a stencil, yeah.
Cool.
Brilliant.
Brilliant.
Brilliant. You're just simply brilliant.
Brilliant.
They look like little nacho cheese squares or something.
Oh, now they do because they're getting darker.
Dang it, I
and
want
darker.
Doritos now.
You really are hungry.
You know what's so crazy? I was craving pho and sushi.
I mean, that's true you were.
Because all I know how to cook is Mexican food. Which is so weird because my mom does not know how to cook. Is that weird? I think it's a little weird, but. So I'm adding color, confetti color to all my panels. And don't worry about the outside color at all, guys. It's a party. Remember, it's a celebration. I'm going to add definitely a lot more layers, a lot more
Cute.
bells and whistles. So, I'm going to bring in a few more colors here. So I'm just going to move my stencil a wee bit. Change my dauber to add a little bit of that rich cherry. I
Oh.
mince. I got
on that one.
a little bit of the rich cherry on there. Now they're flaming hot Cheetos or hot Doritos. A little bit of
Tahini on
that
'em.
one, yeah. I just think it looks more like a fiesta.
Yeah.
Fiesta.
That looks cool. I like that.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Fiesta time. That looks cool, huh?
Mm-hmm.
I know a lot of you already have this die, so just giving you guys more options. If you don't have it, too bad, so sad. I have mine.
Mm-hmm. Ruby says Mexican food here today: beans, rice, and sautéed meat. That's pretty RG, Ruby says.
Oh my gosh. So we had Shell's mom here, Mama B,
Mama B.
this weekend because it obviously had been a while since we've seen them. And anyway, they needed to come out this way. And I said, well, just stop by and, do a quick visit. And of course, I made the carne asada. And little did I know that Chuck, her husband, loves hot sauce. I had no idea. And so my mom makes the spiciest, deadliest hot sauce on the planet. And he was loving
Drowning
it.
his food in
I'm
it.
like, no, Chuck, nobody does that.
Nobody does that.
He's like,
Just like 1 or 2 drops of that
I
stuff
do.
is like nuclear.
yeah.
Nuclear.
It is. I can't even.
And I was all worried for him, because he's gringo.
He's from Wisconsin. He's a farm boy, so but he can hang.
He like, Chuck, how are you not?
Did put a lot
Because he was like, "Is this
Dying.
from a jar or?" And we're like, "No, it's real deal."
Like, no, my mom made that, and she is an angry woman. Oh my gosh, that was hilarious to watch because he was just all about it. And then he was done with this meal, and he's like, "Whoo, that was good."
Good.
I'm like, you're so weird.
That's funny.
I had like 2 drops, and I'm dying. Anyway.
I know. Most of us can't handle your mom's chile because it's so hot. And I love spicy too, but please.
All right, guys. So we just went a little confetti crazy here.
A
But I
little.
love it. I think it's going to
little.
tie in
A big celebration
perfectly.
there.
It's going to tie in perfectly to our background and our yumminess. And And it's, and now you have this really dark green piece.
It reminds me of Mia's party box with the lights going everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
Party, you know?
All right, so let's get rid of some of that so that you know where we're at and what we have going on. And now what we're going to start doing is we're going to start layering those to our cardstock. There's really no rhyme or reason to... Sis!
Here.
I'm glad you can join us, sis. I was starting to think you forgot about us.
She was like, sorry, so late.
All right. What I do want to make sure is that I don't have this going on. See how they're in the same side? I'm going to swap that over. So I'm still going to use it, but when I lay it down onto my book, I want to make sure that they're not right next to each other. Because I think that it messes up with the flow of the book. So don't mess with my flow. You don't even know what we're making, sis, because you're so late. You're like, gee, RG, that looks fantastic.
Lost in the sauce.
You are so lost in the sauce, sis.
It's like, what's all that? What the...
And now you made me mess up. See?
Oh,
My sis is distracting me. Alright, so I've got almost all my panels done.
are they bookmarks? What are you doing?
Okay, la.
They do look like bookmarks.
Good guess, though.
Yes.
It's not what they are.
Now.
First of all, I don't actually make bookmarks. Excuse me, I don't make bookmarks. It's so true. I've never actually made them. I don't. One time when I was little, but I
You
was
made the
like,
things that dangle off the marks, right? Didn't you make little dangly things that hang off the books?
No,
It's
yeah,
different.
but we actually have done like actual markers, like that, on the paper. But that was
that was a long time ago.
I
All right.
In your
I
basic
even did some
days.
for my kids'
So
class
basic.
at one point. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So see how we've got all of our beautiful panels. This one got dirty somewhere. Oh, probably on my little daubers here at the end. But that's okay. All right. So what we're gonna do now is we have all those panels, and then we have our book, and each one of those is gonna sit inside our book. And again, see how the yellow just kind of pulls and drives the color, and it all just kind of merges beautifully together. So we're gonna start layering our pages into our book, okay? Beautiful colors, beautiful tones. Again, they're super rich. And you can create this mini book for any occasion, obviously changing your color palette, changing your stamps. I use the confetti background on purpose because, of course, and it's very different than my original. And I'll show you the original. The original, I just sponged in some color. But of course, this one, I wanted it to be extra special because it's for you guys, for our live. Remember, guys, this is the last week that our sugars are on sale. So if you have not stocked up yet, now is your chance. All right, so we've got all of our gorgeous panels. And before we actually start adhering all of our embellishments and our bells and whistles, we're going to go ahead and add the covers to these pages, okay? So first things first, we're going to bring in that adhesive. You can use your score tape, your red liner, whichever you prefer. This one's actually really, really tacky, really, really strong. But you guys do know that when I am adding a cover, I like to add liquid glue. Now, it's okay for me to use liquid glue onto my cardstock and onto the chipboard because it's not going to bubble like it would if it was just printed paper. Yeah, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to grab one of my panels that we created earlier while my sis Jen was sleeping. And then we're going to place that down onto one of the covers. And you're just going to make sure that it's nice and flat and yummy and delicious. Ooh, I haven't said that in a long time. Now, the dry adhesive is going to help it hold on to your paper and your chipboard while the wet glue is drying.
And you have to hold on to it for a while.
Just for a minute.
What nachos?
Oh, nachos. Now sounds good. I can't believe I didn't add nachos to that set. So check it out, guys. Look how cool that looks. So this is actually the back of my book panel. So now we're going to add the front cover. And then we get to do magic. It's so funny because this is what I call like the ugly part of the book. Like the skeleton, like the ugly part. And when people are looking at me like, yeah, I don't think that's going to look like butt. Like I've had Mia in the craft room with me earlier today and she's like,
know about that.
Okay, well, good luck with that. And then they see the finished project and they're like,
well, even
oh, wow.
Sometimes she's like, what are you going to do with that?
Oh, yeah, the scrunchy paper, this stuff.
Oh, yeah, because I added the tissue and she's like,
tissue paper.
She's like, he's
what?
gone mad.
He's lost it.
He's lost it.
Lost his touch. Whatever it was, it's now gone. All right, so I basically just lined up my cardstocks together, my chipboard pieces, lined them up. And we definitely want to make sure that they're lined up because if not, so yeah. This is my front, this is my back, and here's my book. Because if not, it'll be harder for your belly band to slide in and out. All right. So since my sis Jen is a wee bit behind, we're going to show the book one more time for those of you who just joined us, kind of show you what we're doing. We're actually creating this mini book. Super adorable. Ta-da! So again, you'll notice how in my first one, I just added strokes with my dauber, square dauber. So whichever one you're going to love at the end is the one that I think you should do. But it's super adorable. And then, of course, you just got your belly band here all Mexicaned out. Because Cinco de Mayo is around the corner. And we're in quarantine. So we are going to Cinco de Mayo at home. My cover's a little off. But that's okay. All right, so that is going to hold on for dear life while we start the embellishment process. Now, I've got some tissue in like a reddish, pinkish color. And I also have some yummy yellow tissue. And we're just going to like Rumpelstiltskin.
Tissue is not all just for presents.
No.
Wow.
It's actually being used quite a bit at the moment for scrapbooking especially. Oh my gosh, the other day I saw someone do a scrapbook page.
Which was adorable.
It's gorgeous, but I was like, yeah, no.
What? Too much going on?
Oh my gosh. They stitched like letters. And
stitched everything. It's like, it was some serious.
It was
but
not
it was
bad.
beautiful at the end of it. It was like, well, that's...
All right, guys. I'm not going to create it exactly like my first one because I don't typically do that. So I'm just going to kind of create this one slightly differently. And I'm just cutting down these tissue vibes. And then we'll see. I think I want some more of the red, and then 3 of the red. There we go. 3 and 3. Sounds good to me. All right. What I'm going to do first is I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of adhesive. And I'm just going to crinkle my tissue onto that space. It just looks so amazing, and I think it's just perfect for a Cinco de Mayo celebration, especially crinkled like this. Like, makes it look like a piñata. And I know right now it looks like butt. Give me a minute.
It's like, what are you doing? What is that?
He's like, okay, he's gone mad. Give me a second, guys. All right, now I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna add all of my bells and whistles. And I've got my Taco Tuesday, which is the first one that I wanna put up here. And because it's a little bit, I've got the tissue on there, I'm actually gonna adhere it with a white glue directly onto the tissue because it'll just help hold it a little bit better. Taco Tuesday. When in doubt,
Pop it out.
pop it out. I've got a yummy taco here. And again, you definitely want to make sure that you're leaving space for your journaling, for your photographs. Mm-hmm. We've got a super cool cactus down here that we're going to adhere it. When in doubt, we're going to pop this guy out. And because I've got a little bit more of our cardstock space down here, I'm going to go ahead and leave him on foam squares. But look how cool that looks with the color in the background. Like, I think it's a super cool piece.
I wonder if you could make this like a recipe book.
Oh yeah, you can also
put your recipe for.
Turn it into a recipe book. Yeah.
Hand it to your sons who want to know how to make what you make.
100%.
You're like, here's this.
I feel like we're going to be short a few of these, mainly because we had the minis that we had done. I'm going to cut out the salud. Out.
Jen said that, wow, that taco looks so real.
Oh, that's because that one is real.
And she had run off to heat up her coffee. She's like, what did I miss? Can I start from the beginning?
Who's this?
This is Jen.
Oh.
Sis.
So we are just adding the salud.
And Ruby, you're saying I must skip the stamp set. This is not a stamp set. It's a digital download.
It's a digi.
Only. Yeah.
It's a digi from a long time ago, Ruby. So you,
So cute.
I don't know, you might have it. When it was, this was way before we launched stamps. Again.
Mm-hmm.
been a minute.
I do like the confetti in the background. It makes it look really like
Just festive.
So- yeah, festive.
Mm-hmm. I mean, they're both great. The other one with the little bit of yellow too.
It's a little more subtle, the other one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the other one's definitely more subtle. So it totally depends on your vibe. Like what you're looking to do. And this one's gonna have a few less bells and whistles than my first one, because the first one we printed both the big one and the mini, so that I can show you how to incorporate both. But of course, you guys are gonna embellish any way you want. Like, don't forget, guys, we're still going to add our splattering. We're still gonna add our dazzling pat. You get a little chilly. This last one over here gets a little chilly. Also gonna cut out the margarita. Just a cute little mini book, I think, to self-quarantine at home on a Taco Tuesday. It was so hot here this weekend.
Another hot day today too. I'm out there.
The kids finally got in the pool.
Yeah. All right, margaritas. We've got the tacos. We've got this amazing layer of bits and pieces. Of course, we're gonna bring in a little bit of black splattering to this. You see the black splatter ink? We had one here and one over there, but
Unless it got taken over there.
maybe.
Let me put in more steps.
Yay. Thank you. All right. So while that's coming back, so check it out. So you've got this beautiful book. I love how fluffy it gets with all the tissue and all the bells and whistles and yumminess onto this, which is why we're going to create our belly band at a half an inch gusset. And of course, we're just missing our pieces, but then you have the opportunity to come in and add your photographs, your journaling. Thank you.
Maybe even a menu for a party or something.
Oh yeah, like it could also be an invitation for a party too. If it's a special dinner party, it can have the menu. It can have the details of the party.
Lots
If
of
you're playing a game too.
Add pockets to it too. Ooh, so much things you can do with that.
I know. Lots of possibilities.
Possibilities. We're also going to add some dazzling pat.
The life of the party.
The life of the party herself. So true. Just for that extra confetti feel. Now, I originally printed both the large and the mini. So on my original book, there are some mini images as well. But we're going to let this dry here for a sec, and then we're going to come back and show you both options. Because I also added some sequins. And we're going to work on this belly band real quick. So I've got some circles on here. And I'm going to go ahead and grab my score tool again. And I want to score this guy at, so I've got a 2 inches, 2.5, 6 1/8, and 6 3/4. And then we're just gonna trim some of this off. You can do it with the paper trimmer, or you can just cut it with your scissors. So it's gonna be about there. So I'm just gonna go cattywampus here. It just gives me a little notch. Little decorative edge there. Okay, so let's go ahead and ensure all of those creases are nice and folded. We're gonna add some score tape to this. And a little bit of liquid glue, just because it gets played with quite a bit. And there we have our belly band. Now we want to get some of that leftover tissue. Oh, do we? Yeah, those guys. Now remember, guys, this time we need the belly band to go up. Versus, you know, like the last time we created that book, it had a different feel. One more here. And we're going to bring in our circle right on top of that. And now we're going to add our little cactus mariachi. And our Feliz Cinco de Mayo sentiment. Look how cool that looks. And if you had any, like I said, of the additional bells and whistles, you can add it to that. These guys are pretty dry. We basically can close our book. Then you bring it into that belly band. And we're going to splatter this one. So cool, right? Mm-hmm. Super easy to make too. I think once you have all your pieces cut out, you definitely want to add some of that splatter. And
Cindy Becker says, FedEx just dropped off my order. Yay,
Paper.
You guys ship fast. Trying to make sure we get your stuff.
yeah, I want to make sure everybody gets everything that they need to create with. All right, so we're going to do a quick comparison here. Let's go ahead and bring that other book again. So this is the one we created just today. And this one. So remember I said I had some of the minis? So these were like the mini maracas and the mini chili. So I added them to both of those. And of course, you're always going to get a different feel depending on your...
Zoom in closer because it's far and it's hard to see.
Okay.
Especially those little details.
Side by side again.
Yeah.
Well, the real Pancho Ranchero stand up. I think that's him. He's the real Pancho Ranchero. So super cool. I love both of them. I just think they give such a different vibe. And of course, this one on the outside is still wet. So we're gonna go ahead and open this one. And this was the original one. I added some sequins. I added the miniature taco, and so it's got a more subtle background. I added the miniature cactus on this side too, which we didn't have.
Which is kind of like the cactus you have.
It's this one, but it's the mini version. Now let's go ahead and open up this bottom one, hopefully without smearing that cover. So check it out. And this one has our confetti as a stencil, which I think looks so cool. Open that guy a little bit more. Look how fun.
Really cool.
So fun, so cute.
So festive. And then again, once you bring in those photographs
I can't wait to add the photos to it.
and you're journaling, like, what a cool
Personalize
vibe.
it, yeah.
Personalize it. So fun. So anyway, guys, I hope that you enjoyed that fun, quick, easy to recreate mini book tutorial. I love mini books. And like I said, I've been creating them forever and a day since Harry met Sally. Since Harry met Sally, I've been creating mini books. But how cool to receive that in the mail, full of photographs. If you send it to a loved one that you can spend time with, of course, at this particular moment. And I just think they're fantastic to be able to capture memories in. And just share these with, like, people in your life that you love and that you want to just share some of these special moments with. It's always grand to be able to bring projects like this to life. And guys, don't forget, if you love mini books, we do have an amazing workshop coming up on May 16th, which will feature our mega mini book. It looks like this guy. He's pretty incredible and intense. There's actually a video here on our YouTube channel if you want to see it in action. But don't forget, early bird registration ends this Friday. There's a lot of things that end this week. The promotion of all the sugars, the early bird registration for the mini book. Don't forget that if you don't have the Cinco de Mayo full digital file this week, it's on sale only. If not, you can just get the Feliz Cinco and the little Pancho mariachi guy for free, because we did give them away for free for today's workshop. It actually looks like this. And we can't wait to spend week 7 with you guys next week. I do have something special planned for week 7 as well. We typically like to give away a full set every, at least once a month. And I think that's going to happen in week 7. So thanks again for joining us, guys. I hope you've had a blast. I can't wait to see all your books. If you did create this book or recreate this book, make sure that you tag us on your social media channels so that we can see it and we can celebrate your amazing work alongside with it. Again, thank you so much for all your thoughts for Miss Sharon Oakes. And I can't wait to spend some more time with you this week. We have a free live every Tuesdays and Thursdays on our Facebook page. We will be back here again for Work It Wednesday this Wednesday, which is more mixed media infused projects. And like always, guys, have an amazing, beautiful, blessed week. Are there any questions out there that I have to answer before we sign off? Nope. All right, guys. Well, I hope you're inspired. On your mark, get set, go into your craft room and recreate this amazing project. Thanks again for joining us, and we'll catch you again next week. Adios.